Hi, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. So as a follow-up to last week's video, I decided to share with you my layout that I used for my turkey time quilt. And I not only set blocks and set motifs, but I'm also going to share with you some tricks for creating an on-point border of turkey tracks. Okay, I've opened my turkey time file, and I'm going to start with designing a quilt from scratch. And so I'm on the new quilt tab, and I'm going to make this an on point. And so once I've selected my type, I'm going to go to the layout, and I'm going to make this a 2x2 layout. And I'm going to make the block size 12, and I'm going to put a sashing that's 1 inch. And then I'm going to do the borders, but I'm going to come back to those. So I'm going to go to the Design tab, and I'm going to go ahead and set some of my blocks in the quilt. Oh, and I need to select the Set Block tool. And then I'm going to go to the Fabrics tool, and I use the Control key to color the background. And let's go back to the block tab, and let's go ahead and rotate each of these ones. That looks a little bit better. So now I want to put some of my motifs on layer 2. So I'm going to go to layer 2, go to the block tab, do a set block, go to the motifs, and then I can go ahead and drag those onto the work table. So when you've got things on layer 2, it comes in at however the block was drafted originally. And I really have the ability to do some adjustments, rotations, and resizing. So I'm going to select the Adjust tool, select one of those shapes, and for this one it looks like I could use a rotation. So I can put a rotation number there, or I could use the Control key on my keyboard, Command if you're on a Mac, and I can rotate the block and move that into position. Now this block needs to be a little bit larger. So it's 6 inches. Let me just try typing 8 and see if that's a little better. And I like that, so I can put that in position. And then I'm on the Adjust tool, so I have the ability to do a copy, paste, and I'm going to scroll back down again and do a couple more pastes. Keeps wanting to rotate back up when I do a paste. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and rotate, and I'm going to use the Adjust tool and move that in place. And I'm going to do 2 rotates with that. Adjust tool, move in place. And then 3 rotates and move that in place. Now, one of the other things that I thought about was putting in a pieced border using some turkey tracks. And so I decided to go ahead and go to my block library, and from the Block Tools tab I can actually open that library, and I'm just going to do a search, and I'm going to do by note card and put in turkey and see what I can find. And you can see some that I've already included. But this block here, which I actually think, because it has the number on it, it's a block base item, I am thinking I would love to use that corner in my border. So let me go ahead and add that to my sketchbook. And now I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to view my sketchbook, go to my blocks, find this, and select Edit. And again, I really just want the corner, right? So I'm going to use my pick tool, select that corner, and I'm going to do an edit copy, and I'm going to do a new block, easy draw, and I'm going to do edit paste. Now I could try to resize this till it works, but the fastest thing to do will be just to roughly fill that in. Right? I could have taken a picture and brought it in for importing, but this is pretty close, right? And so, but it's probably not exact. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and select Convert to Guides. Now I have some guides that I can use for drawing this block. Now things look pretty good other than this point here. But remember, this is my own block, so I could go ahead and do some modifications. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure my Snap to Grid is on. I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm just going to draw this one. So I can go bigger or smaller. I'm just going to go a little bit smaller there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my Color tab, and I can color this block. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the project sketchbook. Now I'm going to go back to my Quilt work table, and I'm going to go to that Border tab. And I'm going to add a border. Actually, I've got one. I'm just going to go ahead and modify it. And I am going to scroll over on my options, and one of the ones towards the end is the tile on point. And the nice thing on the on point is any of the blocks in here are going to be perfectly square. And so I can change the number of blocks, bring that up, and that will bring the border size down. But it keeps the blocks square, and it adds a filler border to fill in the difference. So let me bring that up. I think I like that one, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And I am going to go ahead and add another border. So let me scroll up, do an add, and for this one, I'm going to make that 3 inches. Click on my slider bar, and now I've added that border. So now I can go ahead and go back to the Design tab, use my block tools, and I can do a set block. I'm going to go back to layer 1, use my set block, use my Alt key, and notice that it fills in one border. And I can, with my Alt, that would be the Options key if you're on a Mac, I can do a rotate and I can move that in place. And then I can do another set block for the same thing with the Alt key, rotate it a couple of times, set block, let's do that, and let's rotate so that they all rotate out. And so all I need to do now is finish coloring the quilt. So I've completed my quilt, and if I want to see what it's going to look like without all of the black lines, I can select Hide Show Quilt Patch Lines, and I can get a better view. I can even zoom in to check things a little bit closer, and once I'm satisfied, I can select Add to Project Sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like to receive more videos on electric quilt, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com. You can also check out some of my new class offerings.